Luka just pulled up. That left hamstring just gave on him as he drove into the lane, and he's got his hands tugging the bottom of his shorts and bent over, and Luka Doncic sits down. He'd been dealing with that left hamstring throughout the early part of the half, and with the season winding down 2 weeks before the playoffs, possible disaster for the Lakers.
Harry Douglas joining Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and don't forget about us on ESPN2 and ESPNU. Before we get to that baseball action happening tomorrow, the Detroit Tigers host the St. Louis Cardinals, presented by Progressive Insurance. Cards begins at 12:30 Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Check out what Dave McMenamin, ESPN NBA reporter, had to say on SportsCenter last night, giving us the latest on the Luka Doncic injury and the mood in the locker room when that happened.
I just left the Lakers locker room where I saw a very quiet and somber Luka Doncic by himself in the corner of the locker, put a brace or a sleeve on that left hamstring of his, and then kind of limp out the locker to the team bus. They're flying to Dallas tonight. He's going to receive an MRI on Friday in his former hometown city, and the results of that will tell the Lakers a lot. Now, he already missed 4 games with a left hamstring injury just before the All-Star break. He only had a token appearance in the All-Star game because of that hamstring, and then had another week's rest. I would imagine that would inform how the Lakers proceed with this thing, considering that, yes, if he doesn't play one more game, he will be ineligible for season awards. But I think at this point of the season, you're going to prioritize having him as close to 100% as possible when they open up the first round of the playoffs.
I would love to know who came with the DJ Quick foreboding music underneath Luka Doncic when he had that injury, as you heard that report from Dave McMenamin. But CC, like we mentioned, you bleed Lakers purple and gold.
Yeah.
Put on your GM hat in terms of near and far future, making sure the Lakers can build the right way around Luka Doncic.
Yeah, Luka might be one of the most heliocentric players in the NBA. He is a system unto himself. Now, he's a damn good system and usually makes it work and brings out the best in everybody around him on the offensive end. But it comes down to defense, right? Can you do enough from a personnel standpoint to mask Luka's deficiencies? And to me, how you build the team, if you're the Lakers moving forward, has to closely resemble what the Dallas Mavericks did a few years ago on their run to the NBA Finals in 2024, what they built that roster out around Luka like. Remember, they made the move, they brought in Kyrie Irving, and that was awesome in terms of giving him some more firepower, somebody that can create shots for themselves and others that can share the court with them at the same time, somebody that can also space the floor with their shooting. But then beyond that, being able to add guys that are rangy wings with defensive versatility that can defend 1 through 4, guys like Derrick Jones Jr., guys like P.J. Washington, guys like Josh Green, and then you have rim protection with the bigs like the Mavs had once upon a time with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. That's what you need. That's the personnel that you have to try to acquire in order to bring out the best version of Luka Doncic. And so I'm not sure what the names are going to be this summer, but those are the types that the LA Lakers are going to be looking for. My only question for the Lakers is, how do you get all of those pieces that you would need while also being able to figure out the riddle that is LeBron James? Because as long as you have LeBron James there, if they continue to allocate that salary slot to him, then I don't think you can get what you need. So I said before the season that this is the long goodbye for the Lakers with LeBron James. It's looked a lot better over the last couple of months in terms of LeBron adopting a new role, but I still don't think it's good enough for the Lakers to get to where they want to go, which is the championship rounds.
So as the assistant general manager, ding, 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 we're on the same page. Because I literally wrote down, you got to have those athletic bigs to make up for what Luka can't provide defensively. Because we know it's going to happen, right? He's going to get blown by. So you want somebody to be able to protect the rim, multiple people, not just one person.
Yeah.
But also guys that are a lob threat offensively, because we know Luka in the pick and roll game, he's going to be able to, create and draw attention. So a guy that has the knowledge that, okay, let me roll to the basket, let me dunk it. Also, I think three-point shooting. Having guys surrounded by Luka because he's going to draw their attention. We know he's an amazing passer. This is a guy that can get a triple-double walking out of his sleep, or sleepwalking, I would say. And then those 3-and-D guys, like CC just mentioned, you got to have those guys on the wing that can defend at a high level, get out in transition off of steals, and get easy buckets so Luka doesn't have to work so hard offensively all the time.
CC, you know this as a Lakers fan, and you put your GM hat on. Rob Pelinka, the current GM, we're going to replace him and put you in that stead. We're going to have you do 2 jobs. You're going to be dad, husband,
The more
GM,
you can do, Freddie C., the more you can do.
The more you can do, the more essential that you are, the more invaluable you're going to be.
There you go.
We're not just saying, we're just saying. But the Lakers have always had help to build teams in terms with Rob Pelinka. They had help from the New Orleans Pelicans when they got Anthony Davis. They won a championship in the bubblicious environment. They had help from the Dallas Mavericks and the deposed general manager Nico Harrison to have Luka Doncic as a more of a building block, a younger building block than LeBron James. What is it going to be like when teams out there are not going to help the Lakers the way they have the previous couple of times and made things a lot better and easier for Rob Pelinka as a general manager?
Well, if you're looking for easy, you're in the wrong business. So I don't think it'll be an issue. And I think Rob Pelinka has done a really good job over the last couple of years. I have no complaints in terms of what he's done because it's been a difficult situation being able to transition from, prime LeBron James to another superstar in Luka Doncic, being able to take advantage of the opportunity that was put on the table by the Mavs and Nico Harrison. I give him all the credit in the world for that. And he made the best of what they could possibly be this year. Think about it. You also have to give him a tremendous amount of credit for hiring J.J. Redick. So,
true.
I have no complaints about Rob Pelinka, and he has earned the benefit of the doubt in terms of what this thing has looked like for the last couple of seasons. But that being said, there is work to be done. And what this Lakers team is with Luka on the court versus what they are without him just shows you how far they are from being the roster that they need to be to contend for a championship level. With Luka on the court this season, the Lakers are 43-21. That is a 672 win percentage. And with him off the court, they're 7-6. That's a 538 win percentage. They're minus 6.3 in net rating. So you see how huge of a role and an impact Luka makes when he's on the court. And I guess my whole point is with the Lakers, you've got to be able to build out a roster that can find ways to be more competitive when your star player is having an off night or when your star player is unavailable. Because what we've seen from Luka, as great as he's been, as brilliant as he's been throughout the early goings of his career, he's still a guy that's going to miss some time with injury. He's still going to have times where he's compromised from a health standpoint. And so you've got to be able to find ways and find players that can help you mitigate that and offset that. And the Lakers to date haven't been able to do that.
So, CC, I want to ask you and Freddie both this question. I'll start with you first, CC. Does Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers, do they entertain the Giannis Antetokounmpo factor?
I don't know if they have the assets to pull off a Giannis trade, but that would be fascinating. I don't know if they have the assets to be able to do it. I don't think they do. But, yeah, I mean, that would be somebody that you would try to go after. But I don't think that they could swing something like that, especially knowing what the market could potentially be.
Yeah, you can entertain with the charcuterie board, bring out the beverages, have like a DVD for the kids in the other room.
And the wine.
And the wine and everything. But at the end of it, you're going to have a nice party and nothing to show for it. To CC's point, when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, those kind of assets and pieces that you need aren't going to be enough to sway the Milwaukee Bucks to do for you. What you saw from the Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks to help out the Los Angeles Lakers. He is Chris Canty, along with Harry Delgus and Freddie Coleman, the boys here on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and don't forget about us on ESPN2. When it comes to the NBA, mine's already made up about the NBA MVP. We will get to that in justice after Chris Canty gives you this.